So apparently West Ham are about to make a desperate last-ditch attempt to get Declan Rice to sign a new contract by offering him over £250,000 a week. £1 million a month. That's it. They're going to hope that he'll just sign this deal. Hope is all they've got. They expect he won't, but the hope is that he will. And that's their answer to the conundrum. And they just don't get it. They just don't get it. And with that in mind, I think, what chance do we have when the manager doesn't get it and the board don't get it, who are meant to be offering him the deal? It's not about Declan Rice. Declan Rice, as far as I'm concerned, is gone. He's as I said, he can still have a really good season with us. We can hopefully win the Conference League. No bad feeling toward Declan Rice at all. But if anything demonstrates why he can't fulfil his ambitions at West Ham, it's that answer to the problem. Because you've got to understand what the problem is before you can rectify it. So as far as West Ham are concerned, the problem is that Declan Rice is leaving. But I think we fail to understand anything about the player or the man, put it that way. And I think we fail to understand what Declan Rice's problem is. Declan Rice's problem is not wages. He could not have made it any clearer at all. And I'm just surprised that we are still at this stage and the bleeding obvious doesn't seem to have permeated into the consciousness of the people making the decisions. Let me just spell it out here. If Declan Rice was money motivated, he would have signed the first contract he could have done. If not, he would have signed the second one. As I've maintained for the past 2 years, Declan Rice has probably been earning £100,000 a week less than he could have been. He's done that in order to keep himself in control. And by keeping himself in control, he's running his contract down. He doesn't want to tie himself down to the club. Is it anything personal about the club? No, not at all. But there's a number of things. Number one is the pace at which David Moyes is implementing his project. It's not quick enough for Declan. It's really not. Declan doesn't want to see some project through and it starts to bear fruit when Declan Rice is 27, 28. Declan Rice wants to win trophies. He wants to win trophies now. He sees his friends participating in the Champions League and winning trophies. His words. So I just don't understand why the answer is to chuck more money at him. So here's what it is. Here's what it would take for Declan Rice to sign a new deal. I don't think he would, but the board don't think he will. But if what you've got is one last shot and you really want him to stay, this is what it would take. But as I say, one last shot and that's it. You've just wasted one last shot. You've wasted your bullet. Because let me tell you what the last shot should be. The last shot should be that we are going to invest massively in the club and we are going to do it now. We'll deal with the financial fair play consequences when they come, when they reassess it in 2 or 3 years' time or whatever the case may be. But for the now, we're going for it. When I say going for it, we're going to go and hire a world-class manager. I don't even think that Pochettino does it. Because let's be fair, he's not a serial trophy winner, is he? I'm talking one of them. Obviously Conte's in a job. I'm talking Conte. I'm talking Ancelotti. I'm talking about somebody like this, where you're actually saying to the player, "Okay, here's the manager." And what you're saying is, because actually, Declan, we're not going to let you go in the next transfer window. We're just not going to do that. Oh, no, I don't mean January. I mean the summer one. We're going to show you. This is how much we're committed to this project, and we're committed to demonstrating to you how important this is. We're going to let you run your contract down. You're going to be so impressed by West Ham come the end of it, you're going to want to stay here. And by the way, when you get to that point, so as you haven't missed out on money, we're going to backdate your wages. We're going to give you such a massive signing on fee when you get to that point that you won't have lost any money. And you would say to Declan, but we understand you're not going to sign a deal now, but we're going to demonstrate to you. This is what you would do if you were honestly desperate to keep Declan Rice. And you'd put in an infrastructure immediately with a war chest of 300-400 million. And you would start bringing in the very best players, and you would start doing it now. Right now. Now, that may seem a little bit desperate, but I tell you what, it's not half as desperate as what they appear to be doing. Which is actually, do you know what, Declan? We're not going to do any of that other stuff. We're not going to show that ambition. In fact, we've even said we're keeping that manager. We're keeping him. He's not under threat. Don't worry about that at all. We've even put it out there that we're not going to spend any money in January. Oh, but by the way, even though we've said that, and actually our words and actions, and I mean in the immediate future, okay? What I say, our words and actions don't demonstrate ambition. I'm sorry, they don't. If you're down near the bottom of the league, and what you're saying is that's okay, David Moyes has got 3 more games. If what you're down at the bottom of the league, and you're saying we're not going to spend any more money, that is not demonstrating ambition. It just isn't. Did the summer spend up demonstrate ambition? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that had to work. And it hasn't. So you've got to go again. You've got to keep at it. Well, I say keep at it. You've actually got to keep at different things. You've got to try different things. And I think if what you're doing is you're saying to Declan Rice, OK, look, we're not going to spend any money. We're not going to change the manager. But please, 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 if we give you £1 million a month, will you please stay? I think that's totally desperate. Number one, I think it's bad for West Ham. Number two, it's bad for Declan. This is just not, it's just more money. And I do wonder, at what point have they not been paying attention? Because if that was me, if I'd been saying something to somebody consistently for a number of years, and then this is what they came back to me with, I'd be saying, have you just not listened to me? I can't sign a deal with you. I can't do anything more with you because you've not listened to me for the last 2 years. I've told you time and time again what it would take. I've told you time and time again what motivates me. And here we are 2 years later, and your answer is basically dealt with none of my concerns at all. So if I was Declan, I'd say, well, you're not listening to me for the last 2 years. Why would you, what makes you think that I would believe you're going to listen to me for the next year or the year after? And clearly, there's some issue there with them processing what is motivating the player. And I don't know. I guess maybe that there's a cynical part of me that makes me think, is this just being put out there so they can say to, the fans, oh, we tried to offer him more money? I don't actually think that's the case. I really don't. I honestly think it's a last desperate attempt to get him to sign. And they've even said themselves, we don't believe he'll do it. We don't think that this will be a successful strategy. Well, you're halfway there. You're so close. Because if you understand that's not going to be a successful strategy, then it would lead to the natural conclusion and thought process, if that's not the correct strategy, there must be another one. So throwing money at him is not going to be it. Then work it out. Work it out. And if you do want to keep him, then show him some ambition. Show him what he wants. He couldn't have made it any clearer. Couldn't have made it any plainer the other day. It's quite clear what he wants. He wants trophies and he wants to be playing Champions League football. And to do that regularly, you're probably going to need to change the manager and you're probably going to need to spend some money in January. Oh, by the way, you'd have to spend some more money in the summer. And the January after that and the summer after that. You're going to have to show such magnificent ambition. I mean, the sort of ambition that convinced Robinho to sign for Manchester City. Remember that? That sort of stuff. You're going to have to do that. The sort of ambition that changes the narrative surrounding the club. Newcastle haven't spent more money than West Ham. They haven't spent more money than West Ham in the summer. Yet the story is there, isn't it? They can spend unlimited money. I don't think they pay anybody more than 150 grand a week, yet the story is there. Newcastle, Moneybags, Newcastle, all the rest of it. Because they've actually demonstrated the club have ambition. Because at the moment, as far as I can see, whilst West Ham might be offering Declan Rice the carrot of signing a 250 grand a week contract, outside of the monetary value of that, I can't think they're giving him one solitary reason to sign a contract.